Today I have some new copper in my collection to share. While I do that, I'd also like to talk to you about preparedness for the apocalypse. Hello, fellow mutants. Yesterday I took delivery of another fine batch of copper rounds from Liberty Copper. Take a gander at these fine specimens. They include traditional designs that are perfect for small barter and an exclusive Aphrodite copper round design. Check out these beauties and, of course, the Copper Mutant bars while I share my thoughts for the day. While copper is one of my favorite preps since I can always bring a little with me for emergency barter wherever I go, I also enjoy prepping my land. I've been talking to one of the viewers of this channel here about purchasing some land out in West Texas, and he was asking me for a little advice. All this got me anxious to head out to my own property again with my Capri camper. The heat, even where I'm working now in East Texas, has been brutal, and I'd wager it's not going to be much better out there. Just less humid, so I'm thinking perhaps late September or early October will be best for my next journey out. Believe it or not, it takes 7 or 8 hours to reach my property, even though I'm still within Texas, mostly driving on I-10. It's an easy drive to be sure, but not one I can just up and do anytime I want due to life commitments and work. That said, I make a point of taking regular trips out to my Bugout land, even if regular means every 2 months or every year. If you have some property, whether it's a second home or an old immobile RV deep in the woods, or grandpa's cabin, I recommend you do the same, just in case you need to uproot and leave wherever it is you are currently. Of course, I know from our exchanges that some of you here are stuck where you are, either by choice or situation, but maybe some of the preparation I'll mention now could be applied even to your current property, if it's unruly and untamed and deep. For example, for those of you who expect to bug in, if you have a home that's visible right off a major road, you might want to build a hidden shelter somewhere deeper in your backyard. Somewhere well camouflaged, but just ready in case you might need to lay low for a while. If the wife asks where you're going and what you're doing, say it's your man cave. Time, distance, or economic factors will be unique to your situation, but I recommend giving your land, whether it's close to home or far away, some regular attention. If you do a little each time with your land when you're out there, then it'll be that much more ready if the time ever comes when you really need to depend on its readiness to survive. In any case, if you ever have to bug out or make a sudden life change while you bug in, then you'll be all the more prepared if you've done a few things around your property in advance. Obviously, if you've never been out to your land before, your backyard is an untouched jungle, then even the slightest bit of elbow grease or a little cash in the hands of a local handyman if you're disabled can help. As far as bug out property goes, even if it's just an investment that you might sell off someday when everything in the world is rainbows and butterflies, yeah, right, or you just need some emergency cash, being able to take photos around your property might come in handy. Future buyers should appreciate a little carved out entry area, for example, for more inviting appeal than just untamed, pure raw land. I found that photos supplied by the places I bought land from were pretty generic and not specific to my plot of land. I would have been willing to pay a little more just for a specific photo. The only distinguishing feature when I arrived on site was a single survey stake, and it was broken off and half buried probably sometime in the late 1970s. Later on, I ended up paying someone a few $100s to do a new survey just for my own sanity. I also cleared an area and put down some pavers to make future work on my land more convenient. I recommend a few things to make subsequent trips out to your bug-out land or your giant jungle-like 20-acre backyard easier. First up is to scout your land for a good site to serve as a base camp or working around your land. This might need to be close to the road on your first trip if there's a lot of brush on your property. If you have many acres, consider going deeper in on later trips. I wouldn't build permanent structures right next to the road when you could have a very long and private road into your land. Number 2 would be to cut a driveway or path into your land. 3 would be to lay down some kind of a base, such as concrete pavers or gravel, so you have a place to put things down without getting dirt and dust all over them. The Chihuahuan Desert's dusty dirt can get all over things very quickly, and conversely can turn into mud in a downpour. A couple dozen red or gray 12-inch pavers don't cost much and can give you a secure footing and a place to put things where they're not going to sink down or get covered by the muck and dust. Fence in an area. Even if it's a little more than a roll of chest-high fencing from Home Depot in a relatively small fenced-in area, it can keep unwanted critters out when you are camping. On one of my trips out, I ended up uncomfortably close to a coyote den due to my own poor scouting behind every nearby bush, something I only realized after nightfall when the coyote came howling and yipping at full blast near my tent. A fence can also discourage curious humans while you're not on your land, especially if you set something up like a trail camera, solar-powered sensors, or warning signs nearby. Look into burying your fencing or putting chicken wire into the dirt at the base of your fence to prevent animals from digging under it. If you want to get serious, you can consider hiring a pro or even installing a solar-powered gate or barbed wire. Considering how much fencing I saw around the Sierra Blanca area and even near my land, I'm sure there are local businesses to perform the work if you are looking for something more large scale, and something similar should likely be nearby you as well. Consider where you might place a large water tank or other long-term supplies, if you're ready for that. Maybe you even have a place where you could dig a bunker. Even if you don't get around to doing something like that on your first trip, consider where you would put it. Is the ground solid and smooth, allowing for easy transport of water or other supplies in? You may want to avoid having it right near the edge of your property on a road. I've seen people camouflage their water tanks as well for what it's worth. And if you're lucky enough to actually have a water source on your property, then that might be a great place to set up your potential base camp. Keep in mind the timing of your trip. If you're getting there at 4 p.m., make sure you know how much light is remaining in the day if you intend to camp. Before I got my Capri camper, I had to worry about the time it would take to set up the camp before dark. Also, don't plan to visit and leave if you had trouble driving in and it's getting dark. If you're getting to your land late, then plan to stay. And in the rare case the area is having a torrential downpour, maybe think again. The deeper you get into the middle of nowhere, the more prepared you want to be. Whatever you do when you're out at your land, don't cut your visit short. Enjoy it. While in the process of walking and exploring your plot of heaven in the Chihuahuan Desert or even the Pacific Northwest, you may discover something new and interesting. A purple cactus, huge ants crawling in and out of a suspiciously large hole, a towering yucca tree, a better clearing somewhere in your property that you didn't know existed, or a low spot that might be good for capturing water. Or even, yes, a coyote den. Whatever you may find could spur you on to research and learn more about whatever it is you found, bringing you closer to your land and knowing what you want to make of it. And when you do go out, wherever you are, don't forget to bring some copper. And if you liked what you saw, check out the designs at libertycopper.com. Until next time, it's Copper Mutant, signing out.